Prince of Persia has a lot of games in its franchise that nobody's played. Every few years, Ubisoft returns like Michael Bublé at Christmas time to say, no, that never happened, please keep an eye on this new one we're making. Most often, these turn out to be pretty generic, run-of-the-mill action-adventure games, which is sad because a younger audience probably doesn't realise that Sands of Time was dope. Even for a year that saw the release of true classics, Prince of Persia stood out because of its unique time manipulation and movement mechanics. The industry standard was a simple walk and a hop. You didn't really interact much with your environment outside of jumping between contextualized platforms. So when Sands of Time had a somersaulting over enemies' heads and precariously swinging between flagpoles, the experience stayed with us. Its core gameplay loop was split into 3 main stages: clearing out enemies, solving puzzles, and then traveling to the next area. Each of these sections benefited greatly from the unique movement style that you'll see in Sands of Time. Not convinced? Well, let me explain how. First of all, while fighting, the main character nimbly slips between foes looking for an opening. Rather than having a visible health bar that you gradually chip away at, Sands of Time instead has enemy variations that react differently depending on how you fight. For example, early on you can easily jump over most hostiles to quickly eliminate them. Later, however, they introduce these blue sand warriors who can easily swat you back down if you try it. This doesn't always make for a perfectly fine-tuned experience, with at times seemingly unavoidable strings of attacks. My guy's gotta get up. This is not fair. But generally the combat feels very fluid, and the additional acrobatics makes for a lot of fun. I don't recommend playing this game on keyboard and mouse, as the counter moves are a bit too difficult to do consistently, and also, I felt like some fighting parts lasted far too long. Any more? You've got to be shitting me. How many of them are there? Oh my god. Done. Surely done. Jesus Christ. Initially, the environmental puzzles broke my momentum and frustrated me, but later on, this became easily my favourite part of the entire game. After you clear out an area, it's up to the player to solve how to progress. Usually this involves pressing large buttons and running little obstacle courses to carry yourself through to the next section of the puzzle room. The rewind effect shines best during these moments of gameplay because it's a very efficient way to undo past mistakes and focus on trying new things. Falling and failing was less stressful here and could be laughed off rather than causing further frustration. While not earth-shattering, a lot of these puzzle sequences were fun to figure out on my own and didn't feel overly complicated, so I rarely got stuck on how to move forward.
Alright, you can take the crack.
Sands of Time makes for a really interesting blend of action and 3D platforming, with cool stunts that always feel satisfying to execute. Ready? Boom! I'm sick. I'm sick for that one. This game has some well-inspired set pieces that are again memorable and fun to play through. Standout locations like the library, menagerie, and cavern make for scenic eye candy, which will on occasion draw your gaze. While there are a couple of cutscenes that transition you between locations, for the most part, you'll run, jump, or swing your way forwards, which makes for some pretty epic parkour courses, especially when your character has to brave dangerous terrain or perform death-defying spectacles as they navigate the Sultan's palace. I bet I could drop here. What do you reckon? The rich, evocative setting of this game is striking. Like how in the distance, you just hear some random guy pretending to be an animal going... The not so fun bit. Unfortunately, setting up the game to run properly on a modern day PC is a bit of an issue. The game isn't well supported for current gen computers and needs to be fixed first before you can comfortably play it. On PC, Sands of Time runs exclusively in full screen mode and has only a max resolution of 1600 by 1200p. You'll need to first apply a widescreen patch to add custom resolution options into the game, as well as tinkering with the text files to fix the broken fog effect. It's a big shame for something like this to ruin our nostalgia. I'd like to see it get the proper technical support that it deserves, because without these issues, it really is a memorable experience that you won't regret playing through at least once. However, it seems to me that Ubisoft is more preoccupied with remaking the game, where they'll probably just sell the same thing over again with a fresh coat of paint for 10 times the selling price.